I'm no I'm no professional sort of mental health fella. Um, Nothing like that. I just want to help people, and I don't really know how to help people unless I give them sort of a space for anything. Of course, we can all talk about Final Fantasy stuff. That, of course, is welcome. But today's stream is more about mental health and just getting all the crap out, right, that we need to get out. And for those of you watching who are new, this isn't normal Returners Hideout content. But I feel like the mental health stuff is more important. And with that said, yes, Mindless Meat is here. I'm guessing that it means 12/12 some other time. Yeah, some issues came about. I had to use another device because my normal one I didn't charge. So what's up? What's up? I was about to say right before you came on, you being late isn't gonna help my abandonment issues. I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad people are rolling in already. This is super cool. Hello, Mindless Meat, Lions fan, Ryu's here, Elizabeth's here. Elizabeth is always here. How's it going? Today's been an interesting day already. So, and I'll get into that as far as all the mental health stuff that we're about to talk about. But I know in last stream some people have said that they've got some mental health issues. Me too. Very quiet on my end. Uh-oh. I don't know what can fix that. It may be my mic on this phone is very weird. I don't have a mic is the thing. Very strange. Maybe if I get closer. I'm also talking quieter than normal. Is that helping at all? I don't know. My volume's a bit high, but I'm on computer, so I can boost it, right? It may be some weird thing. I typically don't use this device to stream from, so it might be something weird with that. I hate that too. Because all it would have taken was me to plug this other thing in. Is the volume still real quiet for everybody out there? Mindless Meat, which mic did you end up getting? It's like crackling noise. I wonder. Strange, man. Crackling noise. It's very odd that there's a crackling noise. HyperX, oh, okay, cool. Sounds like a fan. Like the one tap mute on top. Huh. I don't know what... Very, very, very strange. Is the sound like a fan, is that impeding with like the words I'm saying, or is it? Hi, Joseph. Well, the thing is, I'm not using my actual mic. No, it just sounds like a fan on somewhere in the room. Background sound. I can hear it per se. I hate that there's issues, but I mean, should I restart again and sort of fix it, or is this all right? I hate that we're this far in already and I'm having issues. I'll leave it up. Okay. Live with it. Think it's fine. You're good. Okay. Well, I wanted to be sure. I don't want things to go wrong. So, I remember last stream, we've all sort of talked about having mental health issues, and I really wanted to bring that sort of out in the open and actually talk about it, because not necessarily anymore, but I really feel like mental health is still almost like one of those really, I don't know, I don't want to say taboo things, but I don't know, people don't really talk about it. That light is strong. It'll be all right. And so I wanted to give sort of a space, not really knowing fully what I'm doing, but I wanted to give a space where we can all sort of talk about it in like a real safe place, you know. I got locked up in a state hospital. Joseph, what happened in the state hospital? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to go into details, but that seems like a lot. This hoodie might also have to come off at some point. But already, yeah, Joseph, that sounds rough. Already today, I woke up fairly early, full-blown panic. It was rough. It was really stupid. Over something really dumb, right? And when you go through panic and sort of stuff like that, you can't really think clearly. I just watched one of the Reddit readers. I enjoy those. And the Ask Reddit question was, what is the worst part of being a guy? Majority of the responses were mental health related. I get it. My brother got attempted murder charges and ended up getting not guilty due to insanity, so he's in a hospital instead of prison. Wow. Wow, man. So yeah, dude. So how are you coping with that? Are you using any methods to cope with it, or are you just sort of dealing with it? Because that's a lot, man. And as far as I don't know if I brought it up in stream or not, but Mindless Meat, to go back with what you were saying about what's the hardest thing about being a guy and mental health, is like the men of an older generation are very sort of get your hands dirty, you know. We don't think about our feelings too much. Jay's here. Hi, Jay. I'm glad you're here. We're not people of an older generation. We're not allowed to talk about feelings. We're very much work until you can't, and then whatever. But if you go back through history, those dudes are often the most miserable, and they beat their kids and their wives and stuff. Sacred Jade says the hardest part about being a male is dealing with the inability to express emotion in a productive manner. The hardest part is feeling like no one cares. I was born in the 70s. I can rest when I die mentality. Yes. I talk to him most days, which is nice because prison calls would have cost too much. Sent him a TV and DVD player, and he's doing okay. At least he doesn't have to join a gang or anything. Right. Are we not going to talk about the addictions men have? Yes. Because I still think there's a, I don't know percentages. I don't know percentages, but I'm sure that there's still a subset of men that agree with that. And we live in the South, where it's still pretty prominent, that idea of like, well, I don't believe in that ADHD crap, or, you know, well, if he's autistic, put him in a home or something. Elizabeth, am I the only female here? You might be. And it doesn't, you know, toxic masculinity. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like it still exists in some capacity or another. And I hate that. Possibly, but the Reddit question was directed at what women thought was the hardest. Oh. See, that's interesting to have another take on the whole thing. So Joseph, going back to, if at any point you don't feel like talking about it, it's totally fine. But Joseph, for your brother, was it proven that he didn't do it at all? Because I mean, regardless, that's like a, you know, that's a huge deal. I think there's a good middle ground for mental health where we express ourselves enough without being crybabies and try hard to do enough physical activity. Yeah. Actually, I was just talking to my dad about it earlier, and he kind of said that same thing. He said, I just keep myself busy to where I don't have an opportunity to think about those things. And I don't know. I don't know necessarily that that's the best way to go about it, but one thing that I had to talk to one of my female friends is, why are there so many men who come off as creepy when they approach her? That's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. I mean, as much as, let's see, I work with small children, and social and emotional development is huge. No, he definitely did it, but after 3 doctor interviews. Wow. And so Joseph, so now are you, I would be at a point in my mind where I would almost feel associated with, I don't know, all of those sort of connotations. So I don't know if you feel sort of, I don't want to say guilty just by association, but I don't know. I know how I would feel about it, but that's not necessarily the truth. My cat agrees wholeheartedly. Elizabeth works with small children. She does. She works at a school, and that, and babe, I don't want to say too much for you. Feel free to say as much as you want to say. Loneliness is something most boys and men our generations and older dealt with. Sure. Not being able to communicate and pick up hints can make things awkward, yeah. And I think too, maybe like a specific subset of people just don't know how to communicate anyway. And also, not either male or female or whatever, but just people in general. I don't know. It's so, and even me now is like, I'm having difficulty like trying to get out my own thoughts. just because they're racing, and I don't know how to say what I want to say in a constructive way. Joseph, I've also struggled with drugs and mental health, so I absolutely live with the knowledge that it could have been me if I hadn't worked hard to deal with and move forward. Right. Say whatever you want, just don't use names. I'm not condoning anything, but I want others to understand why it happens. Sure. I mean, at some point, though, actions become way more powerful than... Interestingly, though, Joseph, because you said if you hadn't worked hard to deal with those things, I wonder if less things... Oh, I don't know. I can't. That's a really bold statement, and I don't know it to be true. But I know... So, without using any names, but my brother's stuff happened in California, so it's not common knowledge here. And those who do know him know that we're pretty different. It's sort of the situation with my brother also, who died a couple of months ago. Don't be afraid, man. Say whatever you want to know. My brother, who died a couple of months ago, he was 47, and he lived a life very different from mine. I didn't agree with his lifestyle at all, and he knew that. He was very heavily on the heaviest of drugs you could imagine. And his attitude towards life was so vastly different from mine. And I think ultimately that's what led him, and that's what led to what happened. He had a seizure due to what I'm thinking was an overdose of something. I'm not going to say what, but overdosed, and while he was having a seizure, his heart just stopped. Because I don't think he knew how to deal with things either. He was going through a terrible divorce, and the only way he knew how to deal with everything was just to do crazy things. That's how he dealt with it. And he became someone that I didn't feel like I knew. None of our family felt like we knew. He was a very different beast. And he had been on drugs for a long time. Many, many years. And he drank like a fish. And it led him down a really bad path. And so, I'm really sorry, man. I'm grateful he's locked up for that. Yeah, well, and my brother was locked up on a number of occasions. And had he got... I told him to go to therapy many times. Because I know therapy helped me. But he didn't. He was like, no one's going to get it. No one's going to understand. He didn't even give it a chance. But had he have done that, he would have learned different coping mechanisms to deal with the divorce instead of getting loaded every day or whatever ended up happening. I didn't talk to him for about 2 years because of that. And so, Joseph, to have a brother that did things that you don't agree with, or, I mean, clearly don't agree with, I almost feel as if because he went down that path, I don't know, certain people were gonna think that I do that sort of stuff also. And I'm vastly different from how my brother was. Therapy is okay, but I've found men's groups and proper church services have worked best for me, although I'm also in therapy. Joseph, I'm really glad that you're taking steps to, cope with everything, and even just to have that outlet to talk to somebody, dude, that's awesome. But Elizabeth works at a school, and there's a lot of times where she comes home from work and she feels like there's a lot of inadequacies, and she's not good at what she does, because she understands the importance of getting these kids off on the right foot moving forward, because it's preschool age. And so dealing with things now, and having them grow up with that foundation, it's even that by itself is a lot. But there's more to it. And of course I'll never know, and babe, you can say what you want to. I'll never know the full extent of what she feels, even being in the school system. Having these kids, and you can see these kids have different issues, whether they're issues at home or whatever the case may be. And I don't know, I think everybody's going through so much now, that I'm sure we all in some capacity have something. It used to be way more common for people to judge you based on family stuff. Yes, 100%. But it isn't for everyone. You need some sort of support system. Therapy is just one kind. I agree. I think, because there's definitely points where I would be in a therapy session myself, and I would get out of the therapy session and tell my band members about the therapy session, and they would laugh. And they would say, well, therapy, like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. I just have a difficulty navigating this crazy thing that we call life. I think that being vulnerable with people is often harder than throwing your life away. Oh, I was lucky not to ever get into drugs or drinking because I found a healthier outlet in art. Jay, I'm very glad that you found that outlet, because some people never do. Good teachers are the only good thing for my childhood I remember, so keep it up. Babe, I fully agree. I had a preschool teacher that I adore, and I still remember her to this day. So, and I might have said this to you once before, but in 20 years, there's going to be a kid that was going to come up to you and say, oh, I remember blah, blah, whatever particular thing happened. So, yeah. And I'm always... Agreed, Jay, and also when you try to open up to people, it often gets very weird. Yes. Most of my kids have little to no emotional regulation. They barely know how to even identify their emotions. It really takes a toll on my own mental health. I knew people who threw their lives away, and I tried to help, but it was like going up a metal hill on a rainy day. Yes. My first grade teacher was my first favorite, then 4th and 8th and 9th. I still remember my second grade teacher. I'm almost 40 years old. Right. I'll be 38 this year, and I remember my preschool teacher like it was yesterday. And most of them are low income and come from not great homes. It's just a lot. It is. And I mean, I couldn't imagine. There's a lot. There's been more than a few times where Elizabeth will come home and talk about these kids, and my first, and some behavioral issues, I don't know how to talk, will come up, and my immediate response is, well, you don't know what their home life is like. Because that has a lot to do with it. I'm 40. I'll be 38. But I'll say this, and I've said this to you before, Elizabeth, but, like, keep going with it. You're doing a lot better than you think you are, and you're doing more good for those kids than even they realize or you realize now. In the future, you'll see it. But also, some of those kids are going to be predisposed to do terrible things. I have 2 teachers from elementary and middle school who are good. Most of the others bullied and harassed me for being tall and overly emotional. Dude, that sucks. We need to prop up good teachers. We do. And I've seen firsthand how these kids interact with Elizabeth, and it's fantastic. But the sooner you can teach them to be at least a little accountable, the better. It feels like parents pay little or no attention. Yeah. And that has to be a thing too, where it's like you want to take these parents and shake them, but you can't. And so, I don't know. We will always remember the good ones. I have some issues that I don't see, and my patient wife points them out sometimes, and we talk about it. It's issues that you don't see. My patient wife points them out. As in, Ryu, as in things that you've noticed about or things that your wife has noticed about you, that then you sort of take and go, oh, well, maybe so. Because daily that happens to me, almost daily, where it's like, I think I might have something now, this thing. And then I'll read it and we'll talk about it and all that sort of stuff. I want to shake parents daily. I know you do. I've gone out of my way to contact those two teachers and thank them because they helped me even when I wasn't the best to them. Dude, I did the same thing after I left college. I emailed one of my English teachers and was like, dude, that was awesome. I'm really glad that you were there. Yes, stuff that she sees. Ryu, and having that patient wife is, I mean, it's so important to have. And Elizabeth is insanely patient with me when I don't know how to regulate my own thing. Just this morning it happened, if I'm being truthful. Ryu, it's great to have a patient, loving wife. I'm also lucky in that way. Yeah. They both understood, and hearing them say they were proud of me growing up makes me actually cry. Yeah. Do you remember not long ago when Steve from Blue's Clues released that video and he was like, I just want to say I love you all and I'm super proud. I think I might have shed a few tears whenever I saw that video. I was like, that. I loved Nick Jr. growing up. I was a huge Nickelodeon fanatic. And, I don't know. Don't get me started. Dude, you can't. Grab some tissues, brother. It's fine. That's what we're here for. Speaking of lives, mine is about to walk through the door. This was great, guys. Sorry I couldn't stay longer. Returners forever. Returners forever indeed, brother. I hope your day's awesome. Joseph, and I'm glad you shared. And, yeah, man. One day at a time, brother. You'll be all right. And if not, send me a message. We'll talk. Javon, you can. It's totally fine to cry, my friend. You can. Jovan. I've cried many times. Anytime I feel like really overwhelmed or panicky. I get so frustrated and embarrassed that I can't help but to just shed tears like a child. I will. I gotta join the Discord. I gotta get something going. This is, yeah. I gotta get something going. Let me make a note of something real quick. I have to do that. I don't have one right offhand, but if I did, it would be something. I would want it to be something as close as possible to that. It's in chat now. I grew up with an alcoholic mother with mental problems. My parents split when I was young, and she brainwashed me and my siblings to hate our father. Oh, man. Ryu, did you learn later on that your father was only some of the problem? And I'm really prying tell me to shut up if I am. But, because I've kind of got a similar story. And I learned that my dad was doing the best he could. My mother's neither of my parents are terrible by any means. But just because they were going through a lot, they were fighting. And that led to unnecessary things, I'll put it that way. Let me go back up real quick. I hate that so many terrible things, so many things have happened to really, really good people. Your life's cool? I'm just here to keep... Thanks, man. I just want to talk about being black and Christian. There's a serious disdain for mental health and therapy. Whoa! I've never even thought about that before. Jay, talk about it all day. Like post in chat everything. I'm so curious about this. I'm sure there are cultural issues. Like, I never ever even thought about that before. But yeah. Just let it all go, man. I want to hear about everything. Everything that you're willing to share. Absolutely. No, I found my father in my 20s, and he was nothing like what my mother said. Yeah. A very similar thing happened to me. Jay, being black and Christian, there's a serious disdain. I don't know what the mental health environment is like for any other races. I've never thought about it. Wow. It just sort of like stopped me in my tracks, and I have to think about things. Like, is it a full-blown disdain for mental health, or is it like or is it like that thing where you cover your ears and you're like, I'm not hearing anything? If that makes any sense. I don't know any other way to put it. Found my father in my 20s. It's a bit of both. Found my father in my 20s. Sacred Jade. Growing up, there's a stigma attached to therapy. Yes. So the stigma attached to therapy was actually the reason I didn't look into it for many years. Because it was like, therapy? I'm not crazy. I don't feel like being made fun of. But it's an important tool to have in your tool belt, right? Not just therapy alone, like someone said earlier, but one of a few different things. I think therapy gives you the right tools that you can use in your day-to-day life, and setting up that support group. And honestly, like, if anybody, my band didn't understand it at first, so I got sort of laughed at, but as time went on, they sort of understood it better, and now we talk about it all the time. But like, I didn't want to be made fun of, and I didn't want anything like that to happen, so I did refrain from going to see anybody about it for years, until I couldn't ignore it anymore, and it was becoming an issue in my daily life. When I was growing up, therapy was perceived as for those who were really messed up and couldn't take care of themselves. Yes. I've noticed as I've got old that my mom plays clear favoritism. I said, oh wow, yeah. She lumps my sister and I in the same boat since we both have the same father, so when my sister messes up, she, wow. Minus me, that's terrible, man. And that'll make you feel terrible about anything. Like, if you mindless meat, if you take that same idea and turn it on its head, let's say your sister does something awesome. Does that still translate to you or no? We'll see just how healthy this thing is. My mom used guilt like a weapon, and boys were encouraged to hide their emotions. Yes. I mean, you and I grew up in the same place, but went to vastly different schools. We did. There's such a need. And I'm a monetized YouTuber, but I went back and I watched Mr. Rogers. Oh boy. I watched Mr. Rogers give like a 5 or 6 minute speech in a courtroom about kids television and working through feelings. And in that 5 or 6 minutes, he talked about bombardment. And I have that same attitude towards content on YouTube. Content on any platform. It's all meant to grab your attention. It's all meant to pull you in certain directions and make you feel things. And when I was thinking about doing this live stream, what I didn't want to do was create a thumbnail that was like, you're gonna click this thumbnail because I know how to use color theory to psychologically grab you. I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want this because you have to do that so much to get attention in anything, whether it's YouTube or writing news articles, even in like medical journalism now, sometimes using those really eye-catching headlines, you're gonna die if you do this. Gosh, it's way too much, and I think it plays a huge role into over the years to how you do. And I didn't want this live stream to ever be that, because it's not. The few times she has done something good, no, that hasn't been spread. My older half brother is a golden child, so it's all about. Oh, I see. Wow. You know, and I'll say this. Mindless Meat, so, hold on. I'm going to have to go back up a bit really quickly. Okay, no. So, Mindless Meat, your dad is clearly different from your half-brother's dad. Wow. So, that means clearly your mom doesn't appreciate or enjoy anything that your dad did. So how do you feel about your dad? And also know this, that, well, I'll just leave it at that question for now. I gotta get situated. I have so many creaky things. This chair, doors. But if you haven't, side note, if you haven't seen that Mr. Rogers video, find it. It's the best 6 minutes. You'll shed a tear because of just how Fred Rogers was as a person. And I don't know, it's awesome. And like, I don't even want, like, I'm drinking out of this mug, but I don't even want to bring it up because that's not what this is about. But I just did bring it up, so that's weird. Those creaky things are history and must be preserved. This creaky thing came from a thrift store, so there's no telling what kind of history it's got. And it's the most comfortable old used chair I've ever had. Gosh. So many things to unpack, and like I'm going through and scrolling back up through chat, and I know that putting yourself in a position to where you can be vulnerable enough to say any of these things is difficult. I love my dad. When he decided to move away when I was in high school, I moved with him. It was quite fun for my last. Well, then, you know, that chair makes me feel like it's going to flip me. Oh, yeah, if you lean all the way back in it, yeah. It goes really far back. But mindless meat, I am glad that you love your dad, and you found... I'm sure it's one of those things where you found things about yourself through knowing him, and it's like, well, I see where I get this from. It sucks that, like, your good and bad things are... What am I trying to say? Your accomplishments and your failures only come from who you're biologically attached to. I hate that. Because, like, you're not him, you know. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. You're a different entity than he is completely. Even though you have some things that keep you sort of similar. Or maybe not. Maybe you take after your mom, I don't know. But I hope Jay is typing a massive message, because, like, I'm really intrigued by that. Really intrigued by that. But everyone here that I interact with chat and interact with in the live streams, I don't know, everybody seems really cool, and, like, I hate that anything bad happens to anybody. Oh, my cat is just going crazy. There has to be a willingness to learn with certain people. I don't think there is a malicious reason why people don't care about others. They just have so much on their plate. I fully agree with that statement. They cannot or do not want to be the vulnerable one. So, when I go through, from my own experiences, when I go through my fits of panic or anything like that, it becomes a situation where all of a sudden I can't be there for people whenever they need it the most, because I'm sort of dealing with it, and I don't even realize that that's what's happening. And that kind of falls in line with what you were saying, Jay, about having too much on their plate. It's super intriguing to me. Let me go back up. I have it bad where I put myself aside despite how I feel to help others. So yours is sort of, it's instinctive. Yeah, so yours is like flipped from what mine is. So you keep yourself so busy helping other people that your bucket sort of is empty, right? I've definitely done that too, where, like, I was doing so many things all the time that when I finally did slow down and stop, it was like, well, I haven't eaten anything in days. All these sort of things. I haven't checked in on myself in a really long time. I'm mentally frazzled. And I have to keep going for the sake of other people, I guess. There's so much noise. I love my felines. Gosh, I don't even know. I've been doing some mental exploring and realized it came from school, making me feel like I'm not important. What happened? Your schools hated you. Was it teachers in general, or was it just the entire school system that made you feel? Was it the way that the school was set up, or was it specific people that did that to you? I guess I retrieved the wrong cat. No, it's fine. It'll be all right. Gosh. Mindless Meat. So, how is your relationship with your mom and your sister now versus how it was during those times? I was always framed for things that I didn't do and was constantly almost expelled for trying to defend myself. Wow. So in your case, Jay, even when you sort of had to prove that you didn't do something, that was a problem. Is that ultimately sort of what happened? Because, man, the thing is, there's nothing that I can do about that. Like, I can't shape the people, and it's like, just pay attention to what's happening around you. I take a lot after my dad. He's fairly independent, doesn't really reach out to family. I do the same with my family. Yeah. Mindless Meat, does it... I spend most of my time with my wife and daughter. Would you rather it be that way, or do you wish it were the other way around? Especially because you have a daughter, too. Students bullied me for years, and the moment I tried to stand up for myself, I was told not to stand up for myself because my height and weight would hurt the smaller students. But dude, if you're I don't want to say what I actually think. I was always bigger than the others, but was very passive. Students and teachers took advantage of that. So, I'm going to try to say this in the nicest way possible, but honestly, man, like, screw that crap, dude. And I wonder if... I could speculate all day as to why I think this and this happened. But at the end of the day, for the sake of making others feel not threatened by what I'm perceiving to be a giant lovable person, keeping one kid subdued so the mass would be better. It's going to cause problems. I mean, it clearly has caused you to feel certain ways about things. But Jay, also, do you do that thing? Because I do this. Do you do that thing where, like, you feel like you can't take up space, and like I feel like that kid in the... Never mind. When you got... when... I don't want you to ever feel like you... Yeah, all the time. Dude, be loud. Take up space, man. You're here. Like... screw all that garbage. It's all garbage. I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. Be as loud as you want. Mindless Meat. I keep in mind the favoritism, and so keep my mom, who lives many states away from me, vaguely informed. Took almost a year before they knew I had gotten a new job and grown out a beard. I've grown my beard out a few times. I'm okay with it. Well, Mindless Meat. Dude, as long as you feel better about... I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like, well, if I do try to get those people involved in my life and what's happening now, how much drama is going to be? What kind of bullcrap is going to happen? It sucks, and I hate that, man. I'm so sorry. I try to make myself non-existent subconsciously, and I have to catch myself sometimes. Jay. Dude. Okay. Javon, listen to me for a minute. I see your art on Instagram all the time. And I love it. I don't know all of the other creative things that you do, but I've definitely seen your art. And man, be proud of that stuff, man. Like, there are so many people that wish they could draw half as good as you can. There's people that wish they could draw in any capacity and can't. You gotta be proud of that stuff, man. And I know you are, because you wouldn't be posting it otherwise. But the creative work that you do that I've seen, it's incredible, man. Like, don't ever stop doing that. And you know, as far as the Christianity and being black, like, man, be loud about that. Be loud about that. Those are all things that makes you different. You know, those are all things, and different in a good way. I'm so glad you shared all that stuff, man. Sorry I haven't been participating, but I have a nonverbal 3-year-old, and she's, oh no. Funky Lions fan, you don't have to apologize for that, man. You don't have to apologize for that at all. The Shorto's here. There's no one that will stand up for you and believe in you, and that's okay. Guess what? You're the captain of your own destiny. Destiny, I can't talk. That's what, and Jay, using your experience to help others, that's why I'm here doing this right now. Because I myself have gone through stupid stuff mentally, and I don't know, because again, I'm not a professional in any sense, but I know how to talk, and even if that's all I can offer, that's something. I'm really glad the Shorto's here. Also, going back to Lions fan, with having a nonverbal, that probably presents a whole different set of stresses. Does your 3-year-old use other ways to communicate, or is it in the form of almost like lashing out, or, you know, I don't know how to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I can't get it from here out into here. I was always a third wheel in life, but that meant I was always getting multiple sides of a story. Sure. My coffee is cold. And also, Lions fan, nonverbal. I don't want to ask questions. Feel free to not answer anything. But nonverbal, and I'm guessing, I'm going to assume, and I might be wrong, but is it like an autistic thing, or? My little brother's 5 years younger than I am. He's 6'6", and always told not to stand up for himself in the past couple of years. I've always been in his ear to be okay with his size. He's come so far. Dude, that's awesome. Why is it that the tallest... Why are you telling tall people not to stand up for themselves? That seems really silly to me. So I always try to find the many perspectives in every problem. Honestly, Jay, that gives you an advantage in a lot of ways, if you really think about it. And I'll be able to articulate what I mean in a bit, because I can't. No, she really doesn't have any, or have much communication. She doesn't point or really anything. Wow. Yes, it's an autism thing. Yeah. So you, at any given time, you really kind of don't know what's happening? Is that ultimately how it goes? The Shorto's little brother is an absolute savant with art and his miniature painting. Such a great man. Oh, dude, that's cool. That's so cool. Those miniatures are awesome. I got into them for a little bit. Man. the tallest of us are the easiest targets. We live in a time that the smaller of us can be loud without... Oh, wow, yeah. Tall situations because we're seen as naturally stronger. But that doesn't always equal correctly, right? Like, all autism isn't the same, but my daughter has autism and was nonverbal. She's still fairly nonverbal at 13. Wow. Gosh, there's so much to take in. And see that, I mean, this whole thing just goes to show you, like, we're all dealing with stuff, and we all got different backgrounds and different things that we're dealing with at any given moment. Smaller people are seen as less than, pun not intended. They have to prove themselves. At least 95% of the time, she seems happy. Whenever she gets upset, it's really hard to figure out what she's looking for to fix the issue, right? Well, I mean, if anything, that 95% is good, that she's happy most of the time. I can't imagine having someone... I won't go too far into it, but there was a fella called Marvin in my freshman year of high school, and I don't know specifically what was wrong with him, but very nonverbal, and would get frustrated and would just scream. And I imagine it's that same thing of like, oh, I don't know what's wrong. Like, how do I help you? But they can't explain that. And gosh, I can't imagine. But I suppose Lions Fan, and Mindless Meat also, I suppose, as long as they know that you love them and that you're there for them, I suppose that's in those cases where you got to try to figure it out and almost do like a, I don't know, like a trial and error on what works and what doesn't. Gosh, because I imagine that they still understand the same amount. They just don't know how to reciprocate or how to tell you that they get it, right? And so that same thing of like me, I would be like, I love you. I'm trying to figure it out. Be patient with me in the same way that I'm being patient with you. And to prove themselves that they have to go at the biggest threat. I've got a funny story that's totally not related to mental health at all about that, actually. That tends to be us tall people. Yes, and really quickly, I was in high school, and at the time I was big into, I don't know how to put it, getting into fights. And I was in a brand new school in a brand new state, and I went up to the biggest guy and punched him as hard as I could, and he barely moved. But in that moment, I said, I've deserved it, you can punch me back, and he knocked me out. So yes, to completely go along with that, yeah. People singling the tallest, the biggest threat, I guess. Which is, I don't know, that's dumb. Mindless Meat, my daughter's gotten better at speaking, that's fantastic. Oh, she knows that she's beautiful and loved. Fantastic, that's so good, dude. Schools do not see short kids as a threat, unfortunately, and that hurts their ego. Oh. I imagine there's a whole other subset of things we could be talking about, too, with the other end of the stick, too. Gosh, we're all messed up. It would be similar to elderly patients that are suffering with Alzheimer's. They know what they want to happen, but don't have the capacity to tell others. It's one of the issues. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I understand why they do it. Yeah. Gosh. Mountain's here. She understands fine, but she wanted white sauce strips, and I have no ideas what. Yeah, right. That's awesome. It gives me a little more hope for her. Crazy how much just 10 words would mean. Yeah. White sauce strips. I don't know what that would mean either. But again, that's that idea of, and that's a lot of the stress of dealing with that sort of thing, because how are you supposed to know what that is? You know, how are you supposed to know what what is it? White sauce strips. I'd be like, baby, you gotta let me. Is it this? I'd like go other methods of trying to figure it out. You guys are awesome. Continue to grow strong. Oh, thanks, Mountain. I appreciate it. But real quick, Mountain, completely unrelated. I would like to know, because I've seen your name in comments recently, but I would like to know where you're from. Broad. I don't want to know specifics. But I ask this every stream, where new people are from. Neither my wife or I had any idea. Canada. As another Canadian, we have a few of these. A few Canadians in Returners Hideout. Weed makes me depressed. My wife smokes it all day and I just can't touch it. Throws my brain chemistry out of whack. Wonder if this new year affects a lot of people. Makes you depressed. I don't want to speak too much about it. But I've known people over the years that it had negative effects on them also. Definitely not just you. And the people that really love it, claim all the benefits all the time, and there are some benefits, but I don't know. We ask her leading questions such as noodles or other things that we don't know. Mindless, and that's the way to go about it. That's the way I figure I would go about it. Is, do you mean this? Or do you mean the cat tape measure? Like, what is it? But that requires a lot of patience, and maybe you don't always have that patience, or maybe you do, and you're way better of a person than I am. I totally agree. MJ affects me poorly is what makes me stupid. Can't touch it, messes my brain up big time. Yeah. You're not alone, my friend, at all. And that's okay. Like, you know how it makes you react. So, and that, in the same vein of, they know how it makes them react. And you got two totally different responses, and I have so many questions, but I don't. There's so many things. You learn patience, yeah. I imagine you do. And you probably learn patience in a much more intense and different way than most people would probably learn it. How about them Rough Riders? Yeah, Ryu. How about them Rough Riders? I don't know anything about it. I'd love to visit Canada sometime. Well, I'm gonna need to get more coffee here in a moment. I'm all out. Funky Lions fan. I smoke all the time, and all my doctors are saying, yeah, I'm not worried about that, including cardiology. And again, I don't know the, I guess, perks of doing that. I myself don't do it. But if you do, that's fine. I don't care. Do what you do. I don't mind. My wife is the Riders fan. Canada's a nice, wide open country, lots of nature. And I love that. I feel like I don't have any patience, but the teachers of older kids say I have the patience of Job. Yeah. Baby, you sell yourself short a lot, and you're awesome at what you do. I've seen it firsthand, how them kids react to you. Unrelated topic. When I was in high school, I accidentally border jumped into Canada. Without a passport? You're a daredevil. if I may presume, if you feel like you need a substance to be happy, look inward and see why you need it. To be happy, to feel calm. My advice was sugar. Really? Try changing your surroundings. Whoa. Congratulations on quitting smoking. Oh, dude. It's, I still have cravings really, really, really badly. And I've reached that point in quitting where anxiety is all the time, because now my brain is searching for that thing, right? That thing that doesn't exist anymore. And it's really stupid. And I'm glad I'm this far along, because it's been... I already feel better, but I'm not sleeping now, which is weird. But I'm trying my hardest, but thanks, Mountain. I appreciate that. The Shorto, let's talk about avoid filling the void. Distract with Final Fantasy VI. Yeah. Oh, I've got many distractions. It's just I drive a lot whenever I have to go play shows or go to all these rehearsals and stuff, and it's the driving that kills me. The Shorto, the reason I ask you to bring up sugar again is because, like, food is a big thing for me, too. And so needing a substance... I'm very unfamiliar with the sugar aspect of it. And so that's super intriguing to me. If you're not sleeping, do more physical exercise. Even longer. Dude, I'm already walking like 12,000 steps a day. But I'll try more. I'll do more. Hey, homie's gonna play is here. What's up? And I'm in the process of making a poutine for the wife. Also, hey, all. Hey, man. Hey, homie's gonna play. I'm glad you're here. And him is gonna play is from Maine. I have notes. I started writing something, and I just have the letter M, and I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna mark it out. Jacob's here. Holy moly. Hello, Jacob Knox. And the whole gang's here. That's nice. I'm in the process of making a city for a new noir campaign. Fantastic. My mental health is good. Stress from so much collecting in that new Harry Potter game. It's a lot of work. The Shorto's from Indiana. I'll write it down. Phenomenal. About time for pepperoni sandwich. I need something to eat too, man. I'm starving. I haven't had an opportunity to play that Harry Potter game. Oh, and an update from last stream. My Final Fantasy V early game grind is almost done. 20-ish hours into the grind, but Red Mage is the only job left. Wow. Before the Ranger. How do you like, Lions fan? How do you like Final Fantasy V so far? Jacob Knox is also from Indiana. Did I have that written down, Jacob? I might have not. Oh, I don't know. I don't guess I did, but I do now. Commander Cone's here. Congratulations on the 1K subs. Thank you so much. I've had a really rough time in my first year of college because it's been a huge change, but I'm happy to say I'm feeling more comfortable here today. Dude, that's awesome. And with something like that, it's one day at a time, man. It's vastly different. It seems like it would be the same because you still have the same schedule. Get up, go to school, come home, do whatever, work in some cases. But it's a whole other ball of wax, man. I spent so many hours getting master all jobs and GBA. Oh yeah, it's a fun romp. It's a good game. I'm out. I smell shower time. Enjoy your shower. Well, considering I've beat it 3 times before, I'd say enjoy it. This will be the first time I play the extra dungeons in the GBA version. Scout, come hither, boy. I just finished assembling a new garden dump cart. Whoa! I have a huge spring cleanup tomorrow. 3 estimates, so I need to... Wow. I'm thinking about having a garden soon. Anyone else excited / nervous about the new TMNT? I didn't know that there was a new TMNT film. I was unaware that this is the thing. Playing Final Fantasy V for the first time, really loving it. Job system is so fun. It really is. I love the job system in 5. It's phenomenal. Oh wait, I did hear about this. Yes. Oh, I have a cat situation here. Minus me. Why are you worried about the new Ninja Turtles movie? Isn't John Cena in it? Doesn't he play like Rocksteady or something? That's what I read. My cat's on the stream. Well, Elizabeth's cat is on the stream. Hello. This is Scout. If you can't see in chat. There are also there are so few new things that are actually good movie-wise. Cena's Rocksteady, Rogan's Bebop, Jackie Chan is Splinter. I didn't know Jackie Chan was in it. I'll give it a shot. I'm a huge Ninja Turtle fan, so I'll give it a shot. I wonder if Cena's gonna do like some dumb voice for Rocksteady though. That would be my only thing. The everyone can do everything, but can't really in a structured job system is fine. Yeah, I think the job system's great, both in 3 and in 5. I think they're both really, really well done. On a lawn care franchise, this is the first year with them. It's a huge learning curve, but I swear everyone needs work done. I mean, if the demand is there, then go for it. And lawn care would be huge anyway, especially like in the Midwest. What are you doing, brother? I'm gonna put this boy down. Thanks for coming to say hi, Scout. Final Fantasy job system is much better than Final Fantasy 3. Yeah. I agree. I think they're both fun, but in different ways. Always want a Square Enix. Jacob Knox, hold on there for a second. I'm gonna hold on to that. All 4 turtles with different abilities and tech skills and stuff. You may be onto something with that. Cats are therapeutic. I would normally agree with you, but Kane Highwin's here. Hello, Kane Highwin. I would normally agree with you that cats are therapeutic, but this particular one is very young and needs to have a particular surgery done. So he is a little rambunctious at the moment, but I love him to pieces. 5 is the perfect evolution from 3's system. It is. To play them back to back, to play 3 first and then 5 afterwards, it's like, oh, they took like the best parts of the previous job system and like made it 10 times better for 5. So yeah, you're 100% correct. Kane Highwind, how are you? I'm glad that you're here. I know last time you showed up and I ended it. This is super cool. Final Fantasy V, let's see, Final Fantasy V really reminds me of the Tactics job system, and I really love that ability for customization. I do too. I think the job system in Tactics is really well done too, but everything in Tactics is really well done. It's just a really well done game. The music, everything's perfect. I would love a TMNT RPG. Let me take a second. Completely unrelated from like the mental health thing. That's brilliant. Like yeah, I would play. I wouldn't have any time for anything. But I'm old, so I love that play style. I'm old too, man. It's fine. gosh, I don't want to go get coffee right now, but I'm going to go get coffee right now. And I was going to advertise, but I'm not going to. I'll be back in a minute. Excuse. Tactics is nice, but honestly, if it's retro tactics game, I'm all about Shining Force. Shining Force was incredible. Reverse psychology. What do you mean, Jay? By not saying he will advertise, he's advertising us, making us interested in what he isn't advertising. Brilliant. You caught on to my. It's all a ruse. No, if I really wanted to advertise it, I would have done something a little different. I would have been like, check out the third link in the description for where you can get this mug. We are here for you and your view on a game franchise we all love. Okay. Way to bring out the emotions, the Shorto. Speaking of tactical RPGs, do you have any experience with the Fire Emblem games? I have. I have Shadow Dragon for DS, and a couple of others. I'm very inexperienced with Fire Emblem. Where's my shirt? It's up here. I was cold earlier, and now I'm not. Jay, how do you personally pronounce it? I've heard it pronounced 17 ways. Live Alive is how it's written in katakana. Spent many hours with the Fire Emblem games. I wish I still had the GameCube game. I've heard they're incredible. But for me, it was either Final Fantasy series or Fire Emblem, or Final Fantasy series and Breath of Fire. And I always chose the Final Fantasy series. Ryu says, I just want to throw it out there because I'm so excited. I got my son and I a PS5. Yay! Fantastic. How do you like it so far? You just got it yesterday. They're quite the machines. I messed around with one for like a minute or two. If the katakana is... yeah. That's how it's spelled out in katakana, is Live Alive. But, who knows... If you look at the katakana for Moogles in Japanese, it's Mogri. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know why Ted Woolsey changed it to that, but okay. The Shorto says, I need to go get more work done, but want to say you all are awesome. Hey man, you're awesome too, the Shorto. Do you think you'll get a PS5 for 16? Yes. I don't know when, but before 16 comes out, I will be getting one. I just got my PS5 and it's huge. That thing is so unruly and it doesn't fit anywhere. My son hasn't let me play it yet, and he's rocking the Astrobot game that comes with the system. It's amazing so far. I love it. I've only got about 10 minutes worth of experience with it, but I loved it. It was just really big and like it doesn't like fit anywhere. Keep your eyes away from social media. It's only there to distract you from your endeavors. Keep a schedule and stay motivated. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, my friend. I'm glad you showed up. It doesn't fit my desk setup. Jay, it doesn't fit anybody's desk setup. And it's so unnaturally shaped. and it's got I don't know. It's just a mess. With that said, I think it looks cool, but cool versus functionality, those are two very different things. But I like it strangely. Yeah, exactly. I think it's neat, but okay. And the short of, I fully agree, staying off social media is huge. There you are, Scout. Hi, buddy. And like I was saying earlier, with YouTube sort of being a place of bombardment, like with Mr. Rogers was talking about, social media is the same thing. It's meant to... The entire goal of all of these social media platforms is to keep people's eyes on it. That's it. And so when playing the monetization game with social media or YouTube or anything, the longer you can keep people's eyes on it, the more you're rewarded, right? And is that a good thing? Probably not, but I want to do well on the platform, so I have to do it to an extent. Only social media I have is Reddit, and most of that is chemistry or math subreddit. Yeah, I haven't been on Reddit in a long time. That's potentially where I might have Returner's Hideout. I'm not sure yet, though. I got word today that the PS5 should be stored horizontally because the liquid metal for the CPU cooler sometimes leaks out. Oh. I'll forget if I don't write it down. Actually, I think I remember seeing something about that not long ago. For whenever I do get mine 6 months from now. Sacred Jade, that's a bit of a myth. Is it? Is it a myth? Should I bust that myth? I store most of my consoles. Do I have any? I think mine are also... I guess. I've never thought about it. My PS2 is standing up, so that's something. The PS5 is like the closed main character from RPG. Yeah. Yes, we need to bust that myth. I don't have a PS5 yet. I would love to bust that myth, but I don't have soon. But also, I don't want to ruin a PS5 either. I almost lost my PS5 over Christmas. It was a hair away from being... Oh. Ew. The old running gag from Muppet Movie? Yeah. I totally forgot about that. I need to go back and watch so many things I haven't seen in a long time. No, movie. I'm making adjustments to my notes. So, oh, I meant to remember something and I didn't remember something. Where is it at? Mindless Meat, you said you only have Reddit mainly. Whenever you sort of got off social media, did you feel like you improved any at all? Or like your mental state? Did you feel like you made any improvements at all? Sorry, this coffee's fighting back. Because I know I left some social media for a bit, and I felt like I had some sort of mental clarity for a long time, to the point where it was like, well, I can get back on it now. And I feel like I'm back in a position where I shouldn't be on social media. Due to that reasons. Those reasons. When I got my PS5, the first thing I played was Dark Souls. Yeah. Of course. My mom was a huge Muppet fan growing up, so I've seen a lot of Muppet stuff. I was never on. Didn't see a point in most common ones. Really? So you didn't have like a Facebook or anything like that? MySpace? Let me go up. Hang on. Mountain's back. Hello, Mountain. I hate social media. I try to limit my time on it because it made me depressed growing up. I think that's the case. I think that's the case, honestly, for a lot of people. And Jay, I don't know if you have anything else other than an Instagram. Well, you said something about making a Discord for Returners Hideout, which we'll have to get that. We'll have to get together and make that happen. I only got Facebook when my friends wanted to play D&D, and that was just for the yeah. Those Facebook games. So did anyone ever use Gauntlet? Or are we all Genji Gloves? I was 100% Genji Glove. I've used Gauntlet before, but if you compare the two, I'm gonna choose Genji Glove over Gauntlet. Hold on real quick. I mentioned Discord as well. Yes, Sacred Jade, you did. Yeah, I'm gonna work. I've sort of officially, I guess, made up my mind. I do want to make a Discord. Jay, after stream, I'll message you, and we'll talk a bit about starting the Discord. We'll get this going. Ken Highwind would join. We moved to Discord, not only have really personal channels, a couple of public ones. Thoughts on 10.2 and the possibility of 10.3? Mountain. 10.2's battle system is awesome. But I didn't like it. I played through it. I 100%ed it. But I don't know. It's fine for what it is, but I don't know. Have you played through Final Fantasy IV Ultimate Hack? I've not played through it yet. I've seen parts of it, and it looks impressive. But no, I haven't played through it. 4on6 is here. What's up, 4on6? 4on6. 4on6 is from Peru, so everybody say hi to 4on6. Loved the battle system, but hated the direction. Me too. I think it's okay for what it is, but it's all right. See, Derby 79. What game are you currently playing? What game am I currently playing? I'm playing a lot of non-Final Fantasy games at the moment. I don't know. Mega Man X, I played last week. I haven't really played anything since. The only thing I'll say is that I'm playing through a Final Fantasy game to make a series of videos on. I won't say anything yet, but yeah. Mountain, that sounds like a video discussion. It might be. I like 10.2 mostly. I had some issues with the system. Yeah. You haven't played past 9? Final Fantasy X is worth checking out. If you liked sort of up to 9, 10's worth checking out. It's different, but I usually take Gauntlet from Bannon because I grind on floating continent, usually stealing off it. Oh, fair, yeah. I love 10.2 and really hope for 10.3 to combine elements from both games. If they combine 10 and 10.2, here's how I feel about them individually. Final Fantasy X is very slow-paced, it feels like, where Final Fantasy X-2 is it feels so rapid fire sometimes. And to have a good mix of the two, I don't know. I'd be intrigued, and I, of course, would play it, but I don't know. They would have to do a lot to it for me to really enjoy it. I'll put it that way. Give it to Sabin, and yes, I say Sabin. Cyan is all about his Bushido. Just click on the first one every time, and you can put Cyan in the back row. Still do the same. Yep, I've been doing that for years like that. Someone commented recently about how I said Sabin. I've been saying Sabin for 20 years, and somebody said it was Sabin, and I don't know. I think it's Mash. Mash is who it is. So I'm just going to refer to him as Mash from now on, because you can't confuse that. It's pretty straightforward. I've got a grabbing the Sabin. Yeah, it rhymes with cabin. There's a couple of new faces. Couple of new names I haven't seen yet. For those of you who's new to live streams and stuff, where are you from, and how do you pronounce your name? More importantly, because I don't want to say it wrong. Jovan can tell you I'll pronounce names wrong all day, and so pronunciation guides and where you're from. Welcome, new faces. Indeed. Cyan is probably the most disrespected and most underrated heroes. Cyan went through a lot in Final Fantasy VI. And his heart was in the right place, but he just executed everything badly. And it was made into like a really big joke towards the end. And I don't know. Poor Cyan. 10 was great, a slow, linear, darker tone. 10-2 was happier, carefree. Yeah. I mean, you're right. And maybe it was that carefreeness that made it seem rapid fire. It was sort of made to be really lighthearted. And Final Fantasy X was not lighthearted. He's so good in Pixel Remaster. He really is. I fully 100% agree. I might have actually lost some of those new phases, but it's okay. That is all right. I feel like also Blitzball sucked in 10-2. I don't even remember hardly playing Blitzball in 10-2. I remember playing it in 10 for sure, but I don't remember playing it in 10-2. Maybe I've really put 10-2 so far out of my mind I don't remember it. Which, I'm going to have to go through it eventually again, but I don't know. What, Blitzball was simulated? I'm lost. You said players in the game. Oh, is that what it was? Yeah. As soon as you said it was automated, I remember now. I feel like it was kind of automated in some ways in 10 also. To a degree. You had a little bit more control, but, I mean, once you passed it, it was fine. Like, if you passed Blitzball off to somebody else, and they're like, oh, we got it, you can just hang around. With injuries. I don't remember the injuries. I'm going to have to go back and play it. I'm going to make a note. I don't want to play 10-2 right now, though. Can we get an all-female Blitzball league? I mean, maybe. Maybe that's what they'll do in 10-3. They'll have it all separated out. 10-2 has been on my playlist for a while now. Yeah. I felt lost, like, wait, did you play it in 10-2? I only played it once, and it was when it was new. Yeah, I played it once or twice since, since it was new, but I really went through it, I think the day or second day after it came out. But yeah, it's absolutely that really automated thing. No, 10.3 is not announced. PS2 had 2 100% runs, but since I got remastered, I never touched it. Yeah. I would like another all-female cast for Final Fantasy. They're really cool dynamics. Pain, whatever happened with Pain in 10.2? I feel like she could have had a really cool character arc, and maybe she did, and I just don't remember it. But I just remember Pain being there simply to be edgy. But maybe I'm misremembering also. I don't know. There's the hot goth chick. Yeah. Honestly, I'd love to see another card game in a Final Fantasy. I agree. Because you brought up the card game in 8. And I actually really fell in love with 8's card game. However, if they did bring back the card game in any Final Fantasy, why not make it based off of the real one? They could use it as a tutorial to play the game in real life. I wanted to ask you, how's your non-smoking? My non-smoking is going well. I still have cravings like crazy. But so far so good. I'm just trying to get through with all the dumb stuff. Thank you for asking. Pain was like Lulu with an aggressive edge. Yeah, I agree. It was a great card game. Yes, it was a great card game. Addicted to Triple Triad. Triple Triad's fun too. Aerith versus Aerith, yeah. I don't know where I stand with it. I'm in a weird thing. How did the mental health check? It's still going if it needs to. We definitely got off topic, but a lot of us said a lot of things. I didn't go into my mental stuff too much because I wanted there to be a space for other people. I think it went well, and it can still go well if anybody needs to get anything off and discuss any anxieties or depressions or ADHDs or OCDs, all the letters. That's what this is for. Of course, as I said, and if you rewind it, I said something about, of course we can talk about Final Fantasy stuff at any point, but I'm just allowing this to be a place where just a vent, and just to get everything out. And so if you need that, feel free. We can talk about that too. 70% of my first playthrough of 8 is Triple Triad, yeah. It's a great card game. It's really well made. I don't know why they didn't make the actual trading card game based off of that. 4on6 started playing Final Fantasy 4 recently. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about Final Fantasy 4? I love that game. Jay, same here. I did the same with Blitzball in my first play. 10. Be happy, everyone. There's too much negativity in the world. I agree. You like Final Fantasy 4? It's fantastic. It's super fantastic. I love that game. I made a video, I guess it's been about 6 months or so, where I claim that Final Fantasy 4 is the most important one in the series, and I still stand by that. It's phenomenal. So many things came from 4, and I love that. Playing the Pixel Remaster, that's the way to go. I mean, any of them really, but that's the way to go. 4 has one of the best stories in the series. 4's story is really good. Gosh. Is Final Fantasy IV Interlude only available on PSP? As far as I know, yes. I know it's not. It's just a bridge. It's just a bridge 4 and then the after years together. Uematsu's best work is on 4. I think his best work is on 6, but his work on 4, they made the theme of love into music programs in school. So it's obviously inspirational and you know, important enough. I'm honestly just happy for this community. Most people don't like or care about Final Fantasy. Wait, I might have misread that. Most people I know don't like or care. Oh, I see. I'm happy for this community too. I never expected there to be this kind of. Everybody's so cool and happy, and I love it. Uematsu's best work, and of course Kane. You're a huge Kane Highwind fan, of course. Solid remake. I prefer the DS. That's not the easiest option. No. Although the Steam version is pretty much there's a few differences, but the Steam version's closed. I play Theme of Love on piano for practice. I do too, Mountain. Mountain plays piano. I gotta write it down. Real quick, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Mountain, do you play it out of D minor? Because that's what I play it out of. I learned it by ear, but I didn't have it around. Emulation, I can't. I have to take an official stance on emulation, and I don't do emulation. Shh. Don't get me wrong, 6 has got some awesome stuff. Dancing Mad is amazing. But something about 4. Yeah. And Kane, I actually used in the newest video, I actually used Final Fantasy IV's version of the Victory Fanfare. D minor, yeah. What is it? D minor and then G, and like C major 7th and F. Maybe I'm wrong. I forgot about the Steam 3D. Yeah, that's as close as you can get without tracking down the DS version. Is that right? D minor, G? Maybe the F is wrong. Does the Steam version have Protobabble? Oh, I don't actually know. I don't actually know if Protobabble is in there or not. He has to be Papa Bannon and say no. I gotta take a stance, and that's my stance. The entire soundtrack for Episode 6 is my favorite. Mystic. Oh, dude, yeah. My favorite in 6, besides Dancing Mad, oh my gosh, there's so many good ones. I don't know. What's the one that I can't think of what it's called, but there's one specific track that's very good, and it's later on in the game. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm away from chat at the moment. Anyways. Don't start playing, please. Daryl's theme? Yeah. Maybe Daryl's theme is the one I'm talking about. Oh, of course I can't find it. The opera gets me every time. Yeah. The only emulation I would suggest for games never released here. Bahamut Lagoon. Yeah. Daryl's theme, it only plays once in the whole game. It's an optional quest. Unlike Pro Jared on Final Fantasy VI. Oh, yeah. Yes, Daryl's Tomb is the song I was just thinking about. It's out of A. Gorgeous song. Gorgeous song. Gauss theme, yeah. All of them. And Funky Lions fan, you brought up Pro Jared. I watched his playthrough of 6 Pixel Remaster, and legitimately every time that Pro Jared shed a tear, I did too. And I was like, there's like solidarity between me and this guy. And it makes me emotional, man. I can't help it. The way I see it is I will always pay for a game if it's accessible on consoles. Yeah. Yes. That's my stance. I don't know. That emulation is... I would be lying if I said I never emulated anything. But I'm more than willing to pay for games I want to. Yeah, for sure. I like Jared's videos, but he's kind of strange. A little bit. You've met him in person? That's awesome. I wish Jay, to go along with what you're saying, making games accessible. I wish that there was a bigger selection of older games that you could play. Nintendo's trying to do that with the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo N64 Genesis. But that's still, like, that's not everything. And I don't know, I guess maybe why would they bring everything to every other console? But, like, there's a lot of really cool games that I can only play on the NES or Super NES. I haven't emulated anything in a long time. I haven't either. Emulation's bad. Did you hear that, YouTube? So I'm happy to see Square remake old games. Yep, me too. The Nintendo thing is working as a solid foundation. Agreed. I think it's a great start. But I'm, like I said, there's a lot of things I have back here that I can't play some of them due to missing cables or whatever it is. I like that they did the retro arcade thing to the Switch. They need to hit the gold mine and do a GBA port. There's so many good GBA games. And of course, now that I need to talk about it, I can't think of a single one. But I wonder how they would redo the sound, though. Because some of the sound is weird on GBAs. GBA games, like, some of the sound is weird. So I'm wondering if they would fix any sound issues first. Metroidvania games. I would like to play Tony Hawk again on GBA. I wish they would bring... I wish you were able to get, like, Symphony of the Night. I want to talk about what games helped you mentally when you're going through hard times. Oh, boy. Mentally helped me through bad times. I'd have to think about, as a kid versus going through mentally with recent things. So my wife plays Stardew Valley a lot, and we have like a joint thing, and that helps a lot. We don't get to play it. We only play it like one day a week, and that helps. It's a pretty good distraction, but too many times for me, whenever I go through my sort of anxious moments, I can't focus enough to play anything. But actually, a couple of weeks ago, I started playing Joe and Mac again. And that was like fun, and it was like dinosaur thing, so it helped me out a little bit. But honestly, it's when I can't focus on a story, I'll put in soundtracks. Like I'll listen to Final Fantasy VI's soundtrack, Mystic Quest's soundtrack. And that'll get me in the mood to start thinking about Final Fantasy VI, and it's like, oh, remember that scene, or whatever the case may be. But I use Final Fantasy music a lot to get through it. And if I could just remember that, during those really anxious moments, because I can't focus on anything. Like this morning, for instance, the only thing I could focus on was why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? But I couldn't come up with an answer for it. And if I could have just been like, well, put on a Final Fantasy VI song and you'll be fine. But I didn't, and so I went to bed trembling like a leaf, you know. With RPGs, sometimes it's like a song that makes you emotional because it resonates with something going on in your life. 100%. 4 on 6, you're right on the money with that. They both helped me with my depression because of their stories and meeting people. I haven't played the first one, but Final Fantasy VI I'm very familiar with. Music is my crutch to get through anything. I fully agree. Joe and Mac, yeah. Joe and Mac's great. I had a lot of built-up negative emotion after completing Nier. I cried for an hour. I guess I'm going to have to play it. I don't know anything about it. It restored my faith in people. Alright, I'm going to write it down. I might actually have it, and I just don't know it. So when work is stressful, I use Final Fantasy music too. Honestly, because it harkens back to like an earlier time when things weren't so stupid and stressful. And it makes sense as to why it helps out so much. It reminds me of Tifa, and I play Tifa's theme. I was trying to learn Tifa's theme not long ago on piano. I ended up having to do something else, but oh yeah, for sure. The story behind how the game was made. Well, Jay, I'm gonna have to read how the game was made, because I'm very intrigued. I love stories like that. I'll write that down. Look into it when you have free time. I absolutely will. Got to be one of the only welders out there throwing fire around, jamming out to Final Fantasy music. One of very few, I imagine. Oh gosh, Jay. Before I forget, I just wrote down that we're gonna get Discord going. So be looking for a message whenever this is over. As for music, I listen to OST music all the time. It helps a lot because there's no lyrics hardly sometimes, but so it's just you kind of get lost in it. Mostly Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. Oh, Kingdom Hearts music. Kingdom Hearts music is great. Discord, yeah. Something about the moon. We re-listen to music, rewatch TV shows and movies, do things that are comforting because they're familiar. Sacred Jade, to go along with that. My wife and I started watching whenever we go to sleep, or sometimes just to like distress after work. We'll watch like 90s commercials. We'll find these hours, hour-long videos of 90s commercials and just go back to a different time. Metal remixes of songs help too. They sure do. I'm able to listen to stuff at work. Sometimes I just put on FF soundtracks. Katamari. I just bought Katamari. What a strange game. But I love it dearly. Katamari's real weird. Everything about it is so strange. But, gosh, what a game. It's also really addictive, too. So, they struck that balance of really strange and really addictive at the same time. Kind of like, what's that DS game where you... What is it called? It's like WarioWare something. It's real strange, and there's lots of like nasty, gross jokes and stuff. But it's really funny. I played so many games because of the music. Persona 5 is one of them. Code Vein I got because OG. Yeah. It was so good. Katamari's awesome. How many here played Animal Crossing New Horizons when it came out during the pandemic? I bought it not long ago, but I admittedly still haven't played it yet. Bloodstained was one alongside The World Ends With You. The World Ends With You looks amazing. I love how stylized it is. Genova track from Remake. Oh, dude. Duder Dudington, I'm glad you're here. Real quick, Duder, where are you from? Duder. I love it. The Genova track gives me goosebumps anyway. Just as soon as that, like, those opening notes start playing, I'm like, oh man, like this is fantastic. And fantastic. There's a fella here, Joseph. He was here earlier. He's also from Iowa. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, so fun. Do you look up Doom and Destiny? I looked it up for a moment. I didn't get into it, but yes, I did look it up. And I didn't make any notes on it, so I don't know. I've let you down. I did look it up, but I don't remember what I saw and how I felt about it. Probably because it was midnight and I had to go to bed and be up at 5, 6, 7. Bloodstained. Both Bloodstained games are really fun. We can set up a section for community games and to connect. Could be for things like Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, shooters, or whatever. But allowing everyone to connect would be great. Sweet. Yeah, Jay, you get them ideas flowing, and we'll create something awesome. You'll create something awesome, and I'll say good job, and that'll be it. Did you ever look at BFG Division? I did not, and yes, we did talk about it. I wrote it down, but I didn't get around to it. As a song, I didn't take time out to listen to it. My 2 favorite songs from Advent Children really get me going. I have to. There's a lot of Japanese words. I'm just gonna look up the Advent Children soundtrack. I'm actually gonna write these in Japanese. Hold on. That's I don't remember. I'm really rusty at Japanese. Attack something. I'll have to look up the AC version. I never even thought to look up the Advent Children version of the soundtrack. Sure enough, I will do that. There are 2 Bloodstained games. Yeah. Oh, are there 3 now? Oh boy, I'm behind. I only knew of 2 of them, so I don't know. I need them all. Dude, they're so fun. They're super fun. I love them all. I don't want to say too much, but there's a friend of mine that I know. A friend of mine did some of the sprite work for Bloodstained. Gosh. There are 3, 2 of them are NES style. They did a Curse of the Moon too? Oh, okay. Yep. I'm really behind in those Bloodstained games. Curse of the Moon. What did you say it was, Jay? Oh no, sorry. Funky Lions fan, Dark of the Moon. Yeah, I never know with these. Dark of the something of the something. But games that got me through, I've been really sort of thinking about games that got me through, like, mental problems. Final Fantasy VI's soundtrack, I already had sort of an ear for music anyway. But along with bands I was listening to when I was like 10 or 11, I was a really big Beatles fan. And that they sort of taught me harmony and that sort of thing. But then Final Fantasy VI came out, and the soundtrack also taught me in different ways harmonies and how to create these really, really great melodies. And having that musical experience behind just the incredible gameplay and story of Final Fantasy VI, those two things slammed into one cartridge. I don't know, it changed me. I really think there was a version of me that existed before Final Fantasy VI and after Final Fantasy VI. And I think that's why I keep going back to that game in the channel so much. Because I still say it's my favorite game of all time. I learned about call and response through... Yes, 100%. Hello, Patrick. Hey there, Returns Hideout. Love the vids. Thank you. I've been working on an adaptation of Final Fantasy VI for the last 2 months. Currently about halfway through the first season. An adaptation of Final Fantasy VI? What do you mean, Patrick? I would like to know about this also. And also, Patrick, where are you from? It's not a weird... I take notes. It sounds strange. Where are you from? But I take notes on everybody that talks in stream. Colorado. Cool. What do you mean by this adaptation? It works for the FBI and needs a reporter location. Absolutely. I've got many notes on many people. Gotta get to know your community. That's the whole reason, Kane. That's the whole reason I do it. I've got so many notes from past live streams. Not originally, but that's where I'm living for the last 10 years. That's cool, man. It's a full-length Game of Thrones style adaptation. Are we talking like show or play or game or... I'm very intrigued because I've made it... It's no secret that Final Fantasy VI is my favorite game of all time. First episode covers the attack on... Episode 2 is Escape Through the Mines. Patrick. Third is the attack on Figaro. It's 5 teleplays. Holy moly. Hey, Patrick, do you need some music for that project? I compose music. So we need a section for creative projects. Yes, we do. Working on episode 6. Fantastic. There's an unofficial novelization of Final Fantasy VI on Facebook a long time ago. It was never finished. Wow. That sounds incredible. If you for example, episode 3 ends with Kefka in the desert with the 3 riding away on chocobos. I love this. I'm taking notes. I have a good ear for dialogue. I went to film school and been writing screenplays for about 10 years. Dude, that's awesome. So, really quickly, I don't know necessarily if you need it or not, but I would love to make some music for that if possible. If it's already covered, then I won't worry about it. But I would love to. It's not fanfic BS. I'll send you episode 1 right now to show you what's up. Send it to the email address here. I'll type it. It's maybe in description. I think it is. I thought it was. That's it. It looks weird, but there's no S on it. It's on purpose. That's all I could get at the time. But yeah, I would love to. I would love that. Sweet. Patrick coming in with the Final Fantasy VI stuff. You know the way to my heart, sir. That game's fantastic. And I feel like there's so many things on Final Fantasy VII that like 6 kind of gets overlooked. And so to have something massive like this, I don't know. I think it's fantastic. I'm actively trying to get into my Gmail inbox to see. I try to find time in between school and work. I try to find time in between work and I'm in 2 or 3 bands, 2 bands, and then I write my own music for a thing on the side, and then I make these videos also. It's a big old mess, and I never know what I'm doing at any given point. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that, because that sounds incredible. What instruments do you play? Well, Mountain. Started off on drums, and I started off on drums when I was very young. I got my first drum kit when I was 6. And drums, guitar, bass, piano. Drums, guitar, bass, piano. Ukulele, mandolin, steel drum is brand new to that whole thing. And I sing also. I think 7 is overrated. Yes, it's good, but I knew kids that made fun of JRPGs and they got a sample of Final Fantasy 7 and deemed it the coolest game ever. I also saw that growing up. 7, is it overrated? Yes. I think it's a great game still. And I know why they put as much advertising into it as they did. Because it's a phenomenal game. But too many, I don't want to say too much, but I don't know. I'm glad that Final Fantasy saw the success that it did. But I think that breeds I don't know how to put it without sounding a particular way. At the time, it was amazing. Yeah. 7 to me is like 4. It's great for what it is, but there's so much better games. I like 4 just fine. Oh boy! All right, that's a lot. Patrick, I just got your email. success breeds ego. I don't want to say they, or maybe they did. Does Square? I'm just a new video idea. So many notes. I'm so sorry. 6 is my favorite story ever. I've been thinking about it for 25 years and just decided to take a crack at it a couple months ago. From the real quick scroll I did of it, kudos, my friend. It's very good. Eva 6 deserves the HD 2D glow up. Yep. Rachel should have been the main character of 6. Rachel, the whole thing is very sad. If Rachel was the main character in 6, though, you wouldn't have the story you have. Her story would end at a certain point. I won't share it with anybody, Patrick. Having Rachel as a main character, I would have loved to have seen the relationship between Locke and Rachel up to that point, because apparently it was very good. But that's where it would have ended. I don't know, maybe almost did like an Octopath Traveler, like choose your lead character and like you choose Locke and then it just goes way back. 7 is their most milked franchise, agreed. Episode 1 and 2 came easy. I actually started reaching out to Square. I'm working on acquiring representation for it. Dude. Awesome. Yeah, I'll keep it to myself. An Umara spin-off game? Yeah. I would like to play an Umara. It would probably be like... What's that? Whack-a-mole? I'm sorry. So when 7 came out, Sony was hitting the ground running, and Square was running hot up the series in general. That's what made Final Fantasy 7's a good... Yeah, it absolutely was the timing. Kind of like Trials of Mana? Yeah, very much like Trials of Mana. Sorry, I'm very behind. Choose your lead character and gives you a slight backstory on how they found the others. Yes. I mean, I love 6 so much that, like, I would really like to play through the... Because, like, reading it would be one thing, but playing through and actually taking control of Rachel... Like, because there's... As much as the game goes into Locke's background, to say Locke and Rachel are in a relationship, one of them died, that still leaves a lot out. Like, what about before? What did Locke do before Rachel? What did Rachel do before Locke? Like, what's Rachel's whole thing? You may be onto something with this Rachel being a lead character thing. You got my brain going. I don't know how I feel about that. But maybe, too, like, to play through Cyan's story and learn about Elaine and Owain, and to see where Cyan was before that. And play through Terra's bit of madness whenever she was in, like, the Empire's whole thing. Or, like, even more background on, like, Edgar and Mash, growing up in a castle, and how they're two wildly different people, but growing up in the same environment, where Mash wanted to leave, and Edgar didn't. There's so much more. Not You's here. Hello, Not You. I was really enjoying Final Fantasy Record Keeper, but sadly it came to a stop. It did. I never got to enjoy it. Let's see. Surely I wrote this down, but I didn't. Hope everyone's doing great. Not You, we're doing all right over here. We going in and out through mental check-ins, but overall, getting a lot of anxieties out, and things are good. I hope you're doing great too. I always wanted to do a retelling of Final Fantasy 1. My issue is that I'm more of a scenario writer than a script writer. My script has Cyan established in the first episode. Also, he and Leo both previously served under Gestalt. Yeah. Though it's assumed Cyan's tenure was brief. That's super intriguing. Man. 4 on 6. Love the theme of loss in Final Fantasy 6 and the characters overcoming loss in the final conversation. Do a multiverse type thing and have Sabin turn evil. Lot fall. You know, get Rachel. Something like that. Wow, yeah. Hey, Jacob. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. I'm glad you're back. What about Ultros and Chupon? Maybe they were classmates? Yeah. Not you. You've been in stream before, not you. And I don't have anything written down as to where you're from. I thought I did, but I don't see it anywhere. Maybe I'm just overlooking it. Bless you, babe. I heard you sneeze, by the way. Yeah, the chat keeps going into some... How did Final Fantasy help you get through these moments? How did... Not just the games themselves, but the soundtracks. How did they help you overcome certain things? It's been a really interesting conversation, this whole thing. No one is phased that there's a talking octopus. With Ultros, yeah. And not only a talking octopus, but a talking octopus that tries to foil plans and is cognitive enough to make somebody else's day miserable. Australia. I'm going to write that down right now. Australia. Sweet. I thought I took notes on everything, but I don't guess I did. Well, I'm glad you're here. I also had to fix some things that don't make a lot of sense in the first 2 hours. It's never made clear how Terra was saved from the cave. In my version, Locke finds Terra and he brings back to Arbus's house. It's never made clear how Terra was saved from the cave. Patrick, I'm confused. What do you mean by never made clear how? Because they get out of Narshe and head to the Figaro Castle. But maybe you're onto something else too. I'm gonna have to read through it. I'm the only one that uses music to help with emotions I can't express or explain. I do it as much as I can think to in the moment. Uematsu is a genius at putting the right music in the right moment. That is such an understatement. I don't know how, because he does the music separately from everything. And so to have, like in Final Fantasy 9 or Final Fantasy 6, there's moments where it's almost as if they had a discussion at that moment of what was going to happen specifically during that time. But if you go through and read interviews, that's never the case. It's always they're sort of created at separate times. And he's a genius. That's all there is to it. Terrible note taker. Yes, I am. I liked how Final Fantasy 9 talked about issues of identity and finding your identity when you aren't sure of who you are. As an adopted person, you found my love. Aspie. I did not know this about you, my friend. I mean, how would I? But so, wow. Wow. How... I can't imagine how that felt to you, like in truth. Having gone through the adoption process and then found, were you adopted by somebody that your biological parents knew, or was it completely unrelated? And oh, so many questions. Thanks, man. Glad to be here too. She appears in Arvis's house, but who got her out after the Esper? Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, Arvis had the slave crown that was on Terra's head, so Arvis must have been going through the mines for some reason. You plan on using sprite costumes or artwork costumes? I had Lockbringer. Whoa, chat. Chat's fast. Rydia's theme placed when she reveals her name. Oh, immediately. Yeah, after the soldiers come in, and it's like, wow, wow, wow. And it's like, I'm Rydia. And it's like, oh, this is nice. Genius. This also makes more sense than Arvis sending her into the caves alone just to get lost. I always figured Arvis was heading up to see what the Empire was up to. Perhaps it was the Esper who moved her somewhere so Arvis could find her. I do believe that Narshe Esper was originally supposed to be Madeline. Yes, it was supposed to be Madeline. It was originally going to be Madeline, and that makes more sense. And I said in a video that it made way more sense for the Esper in Narshe to be Madeline, Terra's dad. There are no words. I knew literally nothing about who I was or who I came from. No, my logic. Wow. Dude. Wow. Yeah, there are no words. You're right. I mean, nothing I say is gonna change anything. But and Asper, you don't have to answer anything. But whenever you found your biological parents, did that sort of clear up anything? Like, I imagine. Wow, I'm mind blown by that. I have so many things going through my brain that I can't get them out. But like I imagine you probably learned a lot about your own self during that process. The first time any media other than a book ever made me cry was Aerith's. Yes, the music was a huge impact emotionally. And that moment stuck with me into adulthood. Absolutely. It's so touching when you find Terra in the world of ruin taking care of all those kids. Yeah. And then Dwayne and Katerin have another kid. And that's when Terra leaves. Almost like passing off the torch to those two. It helped me get through my father's death. Oh my gosh, Jacob. Yeah. I imagine it would. That was probably a really important thing for you to see in that moment. Running through Xanarkin with Fleeting Dream playing the entire time, even through battles. Yeah, for sure. It cleared up a lot. People talk about their ethnicities and say things like, I'm half Italian, half Scottish, or whatever. And you have to say, I don't know anything about my ethnicity. Yeah. Gosh, dude. Man, for sure. Aspie also, I don't know if I've ever asked you or not. I don't have any notes. I'm the worst note taker in history, but I always ask this in every stream, but where are you from? Now I know who my ancestors in 14th century England. Wow. Wow. How did your... I did know that, yes. You're right. How did your biological family feel about you meeting them for the first time? Like I can't imagine. Like, how did the conversation go? Were you just like, hey, what's up? I'm your offspring. I can't imagine, man. Like, that's wild. Oh, my page ripped out. Jacob, seeing Aerith's whole scene. I mean, I guess I don't have to avoid spoilers at this point, but I imagine it would make you to see people on a screen going through similar emotions that you're going through, maybe in a different way, but I'm sure you could find some sort of solace or like solidarity in that in the moment. And people say all the time, like, oh, there's just a Final Fantasy series. It's just, it's just an RPG series. But, like, it's not. And I have an entire YouTube channel, a monetized YouTube channel, talking about the Final Fantasy series. It's so much more than that. Some people get really into TV shows. Some people really get into books to the same degree. This is no different. And those games can make you feel things. Those games can teach you things. And I don't know. I'm a huge fan. I'm behind. They loved it. Many thought they'd never see me again. I still celebrate things. Dude, really? That's awesome. I'm gonna write that down too. That's like the most, like, that's wholesome. I think that's incredible. That's fantastic. I had lots of questions about my identity after that. Helped me to know Zidane, Vivi, Steiner, and Garnet, all similar issues. Garnet, Vivi's my favorite. His identity thing in Final Fantasy IX is incredible. But Garnet too, whenever she slashes off all her hair, like that's almost like her shedding that princess persona, and she just wants to be a person. And such a poignant moment, and I love it. Final Fantasy IX is so deep to me. I need to go back and play that again too, with the list of other games I have. I feel things with RPGs that I can't with other forms of media. Sure, I mean, you're interacting. Like I said before, it's interactive. It's a big deal because you do sink so much time. If you watch a movie, it's 2 hours long, and you get acquainted with characters for 2 hours. If you play an RPG, you spend 40, 50, 60 hours with these characters. So it's different. With music, it's a half hour to 45 minutes, depending upon who you're listening to. With a book, it's over the course. You have no visual representation, and it's over the course of a couple of weeks, or a week, or if you're the case of my wife's dad, a day and a half. You get through a book in no time. RPGs are different. Usually, whatever it is that someone loves, it's more than what it is to at least that person. We are creatures of passion. It's the whole reason I started this channel, because I love the series so much. Jay says I need to play 9. It's the only one I haven't played and beat outside of 11 and 14 I'm currently playing. Jay, you do need to play 9. There's a lot of references to older Final Fantasies in the game, and there's not only places you can visit and people that you see, but some songs. Give it a shot. It's a fantastic game. She was embracing her biological side. She cut off all the beautiful hair of a princess and had the short hair of a summoner. Madam Sorry. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She was refusing. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Mindless Meat. I hope your day is fantastic. Thank you for being here. I'm super glad that you were here. Let's see. Can't help it. If you look at 9 from the outside, even though 6 is my favorite, 9 is one of the best Final Fantasies. Agreed. And I played it at a time I played it at a time when I was about 15 and going through my own whole other thing, you know, you go through. I own it, but I haven't started it. It's on the backlog. I understand that wholeheartedly. 9's amazing. But wait, Final Fantasy 9, anyone else want to know? Yes, Steiner hates them. Of course I want to know what they taste like. 9's amazing, but has the worst minigame. Jump. Oh, no, I don't like the jump rope. And in the Switch version, there's like a delay, and I hate it. I have to apologize for not chatting much today. I'm listening to everything, but I'm pretty busy, and I'm unable to stop and chat. And when I got a second to chat, I'm kind of behind the whole conversation. It's totally fine. You don't have to apologize for it. I'm still glad you're here. But don't you get something for getting like 1,000 jumps or something? I can't remember. We're all guilty of lurking here and there. The only person that hasn't lurked in this channel, I think, is me. Because I can't. Remember the 9 minigame? 9 minigame when you have to sneak up and get a key or something? I don't remember that. 7 had a ridiculous minigame too. The CPR game. Are you a psychologist? You haven't. I'm not a psychologist. Not at all. I think in the disclaimer in the description, I'm not, but I'm glad you're here regardless. The CPR minigame is weird. I never, because they have like the set of lungs and like the little bar in between that goes up and down. Very strange. Yeah, playing as Sid the Frog grabbing the key. Oh yes, you're right. You're right. Gosh, it's been a long time. I completely forgot about that. I agree, the CPR game sucks. Yeah. Bet it makes it to the remake though. I don't know. They added like the dart thing, and I love the dart minigame in the remake. So you need to go play 9 again. I absolutely do. It's been so long since I played 9. I played 9 when it first came out, and I don't think I've been all the way through it since. And that was, I got it for Christmas, so it was sometime around 2001. Shivering in the Cold minigame. Oh, when you're in the Gaia Cliffs. Final Fantasy 1 was my gateway into the series. I found it at my loneliest time in middle school. Instantly fell in love. Not a lot of people fall in love with Final Fantasy from the first one, so it really must have struck you in a certain way, and I think that's awesome. It was also my gateway into sprite art. Oh, for sure. You should do a 9 Let's Play with us then. Jacob, do you want me to do a 9 playthrough on stream? Because I'll do it. I think Final Fantasy X had the worst minigames in my opinion. I also wasn't a fan of the sphere grid. I think it's neat, but there's better ways. Never played an RPG before that point. Oh yeah, I can see. It's not just introduction to the series, but to the genre as a whole. 4 was the first one I played. I loved it. It made me fall in love with the series. 4 was also my very first one, and here I am now. You know, we could try to do a book club thing where a bunch of us play a game up to a point and talk about it together. Yeah. Kane, we could do something like that. That would be neat. I was actually planning on playing Mystic Quest on next stream. But real quick, is there any game that you would want me to play next week? So far, I've got Final Fantasy 9 and Mystic Quest. only played Lego games and platformers. Some fighting games too. That's kind of where I started, was platforming. Like Mario 3 was huge. I had a cousin that moved in with us when I was like 14. I just got Final Fantasy 1 and he had Phantasy Star 1. I fell in love then and never looked back. Yeah. Phantasy Star is incredible. I only know a little bit about the first one. I've heard either 3 or 4 was incredible. I can't remember which one. Maybe it was 4. Mystic Quest for stream. I'm gonna do a sort of a, I don't know how to do this in real time, or even if I can. Let's do this. Oh, fantastic. I have a poll up now. So vote between the two, and whichever one, I'll play it. Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore, all good games to stream. I need to play Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star is great if you can find it. Dragon Warrior was my first RPG. I was playing, I was 7 playing it in 1989, couldn't get out of the throne. Oh, yeah. Sometimes those things are so confusing. We can definitely add a voting system for games in the Discord and over YouTube comments. Fantastic. Jay, dude, I'm gonna need all the help I can get with that. I want to play the E series. Yes, you do, Jay. Those are fantastic games. Let's see what we got. Duder says, have you heard of the Final Fantasy V 4 Job Fiesta? I have. I have not done it. I'm almost afraid to do it, but yes, I have heard of it. He's 8 and 9 are on PS5. Discord, yes, please. I'm working with Javon, or I will be working with Javon, and right after this stream's over, we're going to talk about how to make a Discord happen. Of course, it's split right down the middle, 50-50. Fine. For those of you who voted, hang on, I'm going to end it. I'm going to do another one. Let me see. Somehow I'm about to eat my third pepperoni cheddar sandwich. Dude, that sounds awesome. I'm starving. Because, of course, it was 50-50. I don't know how to ask it. I don't know how to... It's fine. It's fine. Because it's 50... It's right down the middle. So I don't know. Is there... Because somebody brought up, like, Chrono Trigger... Secret of Mana. I would love to play any of those. You're about to fry a plantain. 4 on 6. You live in Peru. You're gonna have to tell me. You're gonna have to tell me what it's like. I've never had a plantain, so I don't know. Mystic Quest. Dude, it was split. It was split right down the middle. I raised both my hands. I'm going to add a third option. And we'll really see what's happening. There's a new poll. Take a note from Edgar and flip a coin as long as it's two different sides. Yeah. Terranegma? Oh, dude, I would love to. Xenogears? Yeah. I don't have a copy of Xenogears, but I used to. Are you guys gonna make it 50-50 again? Mindless Meat came back real quick to mention my wife figured out what white sauce strips are. Toaster strudels? Awesome. I'm super glad. Super glad. Super glad you got it figured out. Kingdom Hearts 1. The very first Kingdom Hearts. Mindless Meat, I'm so glad that you guys figured it out. That's awesome. To your wife and you, congrats. And tell your wife I said congrats. That's awesome. Actually, toaster strudel sounds awesome right now. See you, Mindless Meat. Everybody say bye to Mindless Meat again. That means I'm going to have to hook up my PS4. That's fine. Thank you, Mindless Meat. Thanks for showing up just to tell us that. That's awesome. That's the best thing ever. I love seeing everybody interacting with everybody else. It's one of my favorite things to see. It's one of my favorite things to see. What happened to that person that came by and was like, "Are you a psychologist?" I wasn't able to help them, but now I feel bad. I want to. So it looks as if Kingdom Hearts is the winner. As I thought it might be. So yeah, I'm definitely going to play Kingdom Hearts next week. Yes, Jay, that's who it was. Can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 4. I have to get through 3 first, but I agree. And Jay, yeah, that's who it was. I don't know what happened to them, but I hope they're okay. That person seemed like they were in a bit of a really bad moment, and there were lots of crying emojis. I don't know. That makes me sad. I don't want anything bad to happen. Kane Highwind, no, I didn't finish Kingdom Hearts 3. Very much so because I didn't finish Kingdom Hearts 2. And there's a really long story as to why I never did. And I won't tell it here, but okay. Actually, it's in one of the streams. It's in one of the streams why I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 2. The only way to play 3 is on critical. Oh yeah? I'll write it down and then forget I wrote it down. No, I didn't finish Kingdom Hearts 2. Did I just completely, like... 4 on 6! Have a fantastic evening. Actually, I need to leave too, but we will. 4 on 6. Have a wonderful evening in Peru, which is just mind-boggling to me, but have a fantastic night. Or whatever time it is over there. It's the most difficult critical mode. It's also the most balanced. Oh, that's cool. I might... Whenever I do play it, I'll give it a shot. I like Kingdom Hearts 3 once I started ignoring the attractions mechanic. I thought they made things too easy. I don't know enough to comment on it. Kane Highwind, did I completely shatter your hopes and dreams for Returner's Hideout? Because I haven't beat Kingdom Hearts 2. Dude, if I actually told you the list of games I've never beaten, you would probably be appalled. Actually, yeah, I'm actually getting super hungry. And my wife and stepdaughter just been locked in a bedroom the whole time while I've been doing stream. Not in like a terrible way. I've locked them in the bedroom. Oh boy. If it was Destiny Island Hideout, maybe. Oh, okay, yeah. I get that. Oh, she fell asleep. That's funny. I love status effects in games and wish more action RPGs involved them. Jay, you like status effects. Did you like Final Fantasy 2 a lot? Because there's a lot of status effects in that game. Can you have a sandwich? I'm not glad when Malboros show up. She falls asleep so fast. Confession time. I love Final Fantasy 6, but I'm too lazy to split my party into 3 at the end. That's fair. It's a lot of mental energy to keep up with those 3. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy, and that could use status effects. I like having to figure out how to play with it or change my tactics. Final Fantasy 2 was probably right up your alley then, because there was a lot of that, figuring out what works at different times for different things. I haven't had an opportunity to play it yet, partially because I don't have a PS5. But I've heard it's incredible. Think what you will about Hogwarts Legacy, but I've heard the game's awesome. My brother just loves it. We were just talking about it. It was either yesterday or the day before about how awesome. I think it was yesterday. About how awesome it is. It looks incredible. And I can't wait to finally be able to play it. I just gotta buy a PS5 first. Although I hear they're becoming increasingly easier to get. Money is the thing I don't have. And whenever I do get money, I'll buy one. But I live in a house, and houses require money. Duder, what's your favorite part of Final Fantasy VI? If splitting your party into 3 isn't a thing that you like doing, then what's the thing that you do like doing the most in Final Fantasy VI? I have so many notes. And so many things to try to remember. And I won't, because I'm terrible at remembering anything. With 6, I always balance my party a certain way with a magic base featuring Terra, Power, including Savin, no magic summon. Really? I'm always either full magic everything. I never really think about balance too much. But sometimes I do. After you get to after you learn Ultima, pretty much, to have a party filled with Ultima casters and you're good. But like the offering Genji glove thing where you can attack 8 times, that's also super effective too. So many people hate Runic, and it's so OP. Yeah. Oh, dude, you can straight up abuse Runic and make it through the game pretty easily. I haven't played 6 without attempting a low level game in a long time. I attempted a low level game in Final Fantasy VI once, and it was before I understood how to do low level games, and so I didn't have a very good time at all. I go super magic party by making all my characters learn all this, but Sacred Jade, that's how I do it. I just like the stories of each characters. I think it's interesting when Locke needs to go off on his own, or what you need to find. But, yeah. Oh, that was the main draw of 6 for me. And if you get the timing down, you can stop enemies' magic and cast Terra. Yeah. Fun to play without Ultima, though. Try limiting yourself to only 5. I actually have a challenge video I'm going to work on where what is it? I don't think I use any magic at all. Maybe that's what it is. I've done multiple. Furthest I got was World of Ruin. I remember smashing dragons in the forest with Gal around. I was gonna say I'm gonna have to do a low level run, but I don't. I'm really bad at those types of things. Because I don't. In order to do those effectively, you have to know a bit about a lot of things about the enemies. I don't know. I don't put that much into it. Like, this enemy's 3rd round, he'll cast shell, and if you reflect it before then, you'll get shell put on you. I don't know. First Ultros fight is I bet it is. Getting Bannon smashed in the face with a tentacle and your journey's over. I bet it is awful. Yeah. But with Duncan, maybe it wouldn't be. Is Bannon and Duncan the same person? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, cool. I've got a ton of notes. So, I have many things to look up. I have many things to read and to play. Check the video to find out. I wasn't going to say it. I'm a 50-50 party guy, endgame in 6. I usually use 3 dragoons, usually turning Setzer into an imp, 1 in each party. Loke, Cyan, and Shadow are my 3 physicals. Is Gogo and Bannon and Duncan the same person? Bah, bah, bah. My Instagram? I'm using my actual phone for streaming because the one I usually use is dead. I just got home and now I have to find my old save files so I can give my breakdown. Please do. I would love to hear it. I don't know. I can't look at it right now, but I don't know if it's the Return. I'm sure it's the Returners Hideout on Instagram. I'm sure it is. But I might also get rid of Instagram in the future. Once this Discord gets up and running, I'll probably be exclusively through it, and maybe a sub. I don't want to overdo it on social media, because like I already have enough to keep up with. But there is going to be a Discord for sure. There's a Steam version with a World Reborn mod. Oh, I don't know anything about that. I never got into mods too much. I will say it's fun maxing out Edgar's magic and then take over 50. Oh yeah. See, those types of things I never do, but I always hear really cool stories of. If you max out stats too much, it'll roll around and then you're doing very low damage after that. There's like little things like that. Edgar's strongest character in the game. Early on, his tools are just a lifesaver when you're going through the like the Figaro caves early on when you're heading to South Figaro. His tools are just a lifesaver. Oh, you meant my personal Instagram. I got rid of that a little while back. I was never on it, so though I didn't have a need for it. Whole time, yeah. Yeah, his tools are. I mean, you can bring on like poison status effects with it. Confused or whatever. Whenever they all turn around, like all the enemies are now reversed and they're hitting themselves. I guess that's confused. I'm not a modder because I'm a console player. However, that was an exception because I didn't like the art style. I didn't like the art style either in the Steam version of it. I have it, but I wasn't into it. I didn't like the menu setup. I didn't like the ATB counter like came in from the bottom, and I hated that. I absolutely hated that. I don't know why they made certain changes in that, but they did. Using his stats as tools are relevant through the whole game. Multi-target, piercing, unblockables, tools are so good. Yeah. World Reborn mod made things so much better. I will look it up at some point. Because I don't know anything about it. Yeah. Sorry, not you. I got rid of it forever ago. Are you needing to reach out? Like send me a message or for something? I'm a simple man. I just like to watch Edgar spin with his favorite chainsaw. Yeah. That like I love that. That's one of my favorite things ever. And just the sheer amount of damage he does when he does that. Edgar's a beast. But getting 8K with Cyan while everyone just chills because of one quick spell. Yeah. Ugh. I haven't eaten a thing today, I just realized. Did you notice he puts a mask on when he uses a chainsaw? Like Texas Chainsaw Mask? Yeah. I love that. When I first saw that I was a kid, I was like, oh, that's fantastic. Edgar's a beast, but can he suplex a train? I don't know about pitting brothers against each other necessarily. I'd be afraid to do that. Your cat's making biscuits? I'm sure he is. The other cat is asleep next to me. No, it's perfectly fine. Okay, I didn't know if you needed to reach out for something. If you do need to, as of right now, I can't promise that I'll see it, but if needed, the Returners Returners Hideout Instagram, send me a message on there, and I might see it, I might not. No, he's on the chair. I might not ever use, and I know Jay, there was a whole series of messages that I missed. Instagram is acting up real bad. I can't wait for Discord to get to know everyone better. I really want to show off my trading card. You mean the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy trading card game? I know nothing about it. The quick spell is so broken and I love it. It is terribly broken. It stops the enemy's ATBs so you can charge Cyan to 7 without worrying about being hit. Yeah, for these, I don't know a lot about them, but I have two. I got the starter deck, the Avalanche versus Shinra starter deck. And I know 0. So, gosh, I would love to play. But I have to learn what everything is first. Dude, the cards are awesome. Like, let me pull some of these out real quick. Like, the backs of them are, like, textured. And, man, they feel great. I love these things. But for now, do you, for those 9 who are still here, does anybody go, I know we're from, like, all over the place, but are there any, like, conventions that you guys go to regularly? You have time to? They look really high quality. I know what I'm getting my bro for his birthday now. Yeah. I don't know anything about how to play it, but I sure do like looking at them, though. I wanted to go to Anime Expo, but I'm still figuring things out. That would be super neat. And the reason I ask is soon enough I want to do some traveling, and I don't know how much I can do right now, but I would love to go somewhere and, like, meet up with some returners if possible. My voice is starting to go. I haven't been into a convention in at least 15 years. Anime Expo California. I've been to one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I saw a couple of YouTubers. That's super cool. Super cool. Yeah, I'm still kind of new at this whole YouTuber thing. Unboxing. I'll do some card unboxings. I won't know anything about them, but I sure will. Traveling to Jamaica in 2 months. You're... Oh, what is it? Hang on. I have this. Hold on. I know I've got this written down. Oh my gosh, I don't. Jacob Knox, I hope you have a fantastic evening. And thank you for sharing everything, by the way, that you shared earlier. That's right, yes. I knew it was either a wedding or honeymoon, and I couldn't remember specifically. I have it somewhere. I'm interested in the cards. Where did you get them? I got this starter deck from Amazon, believe it or not. And I think the starter deck, it comes with 2 decks, and it was like $25. It's ultra cheap. Jamaican dishes are yummy, and charcoal jerk chicken is delicious. Any Jamaican dish is right up my alley. And you did write it down. I know I did. It's gonna drive me nuts because I know I did. Oh wait. I'm gonna have to try to combine all my stuff. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. But what was I saying about cons? I would love to get to a point where I could meet some returners and just hang out and talk about Final Fantasy more so than we do here. But no problem. Just glad to see other people out here who love the same things I do, including sharing personal stuff. Yeah, we're gonna have to do these mental health check-ins regularly. It turned into something really cool there for a bit, and I need it to happen more. All right, guys, y'all have a good evening. YouTube, I'm actually about to end the stream. I'm very hungry, and I need something to drink for my throat. I've been talking forever. Stay funky, Lion. And also, Lions fan, thanks for sharing your situation too. I think that's fantastic with everything. I can tell you that the Final Fantasy cards are categorized in the common, rare, super rare, hero, and legendary. Okay. I don't know. I don't know much. Oh, I don't want to get them back out. The box that it came in is broken and weird, and so whenever I got them, they were already broken. All right, I'm out too. Bye, everyone. Bye, Kane. I just realized Final Fantasy VI is my most played game. Me too, probably. If I could have some timer, it would be that. Take it easy, Lions fan. Yep, have a fantastic evening. I played it 5 times and beat it 4 times. It's a great game. Nope's here. Yellow's still here. At least want to drop in and say hi. Over 300 hours on all platforms. Good lord. I'm afraid to know how many hours I've put into it. I'm glad that that you're here, Nope. I'm literally about to end it, but yeah. I would imagine your most played game after checking every single tile. Yeah. What a time period that was. I'm making a breakfast bowl right now. Breakfast bowl sounds awesome. Close call then. Yeah, for sure. I had a great time. I felt like stream. It was. I need to do these more often. These like mental health checks, because I feel like in the beginning we really got a lot out, and it kind of got emotional a little bit in some spots. But I would like to do another one, not necessarily next week, but soon enough. I just re-downloaded Final Fantasy 16 version. I have it, but I don't know if I can bring myself to play it. Anyway, I'm going to hop off of stream and go eat and chill out before I have to go to bed and wake up ultra early to go to work tomorrow. But I love you all, and I hope that this was some sort of safe space where you could feel like you can get grievances out. And if not, I'll learn how to do it better, because it's a lot to deal with. But anyway, I love you all, and I will see you back here with the next video, which I don't know when, but there's one coming, and then next week's stream, where I will be playing Kingdom Hearts. Thanks for streaming today and hosting this community event. I'm glad you were here too. Ryu, you don't have to thank me, man. Nobody has to thank me for anything. Have a great week. You have a better week. Thank you for streaming. Jay, thank you for being here. Alright, cool. I'm going to go eat. Bye, love you.